Okay, good evening, folks. It is Andre English coming at you again. We had a little live earlier today where we went over uh, 10-minute tips on how to succeed in the foreign exchange market. And we talked a little bit about risk versus reward ratio. So I really enjoyed that. Hope people who saw that got a lot of value from it. If you haven't seen it, you can check it out on my page. It'll be there and also on our YouTube channel. But listen, I am excited tonight to be able to share with you essentially where it is that I'm able to learn um, all of these different skills about the foreign exchange market, where I'm able to get the information, where I'm able to, at this point, have learned a skill set that's given me the opportunity to create a life by design, given me the opportunity to be a full-time single dad that takes care of my 5-year-old daughter. So I am excited to share with you. This is sort of a passion, it's a calling, it's a mission, if you will, to be able to get this information out to people so that people have the opportunity to make an informed decision for their family, folks. That's really what we're looking to do. We are literally here to provide value and sort of wake people up as to what's going on and sort of the fact that they do have solutions, they do have choices, and they do have hope. And that's really what we're here for. I know for myself, you know, before I came into this information, I was in a situation where I was having some health challenges. I was having some experiences that I never had before. I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be. And so for me, as someone who has lectured about and talked about economic empowerment for a long, long time, this company that I'm going to share with you has been transformational. And because it's been transformational, I feel compelled to share it with passion and energy and enthusiasm and to talk to you about it because it's serious and to be able to understand or help you understand what the possibilities are. And so if I'm talking to you and I'm excited and I'm energetic, what I want you to know, folks, is that all we're looking to do is get you some information. No one's trying to sell you on anything. If we're trying to sell you on anything, it's to sell you on you. We're trying to sell you to bet on you. And stop relying on other people when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your future, when it comes to your money, when it comes to your family and you know, those types of obligations. Go ahead and bet on you. And that's what if we're going to sell anything, that's what we're selling tonight. So as I get in tonight, I'm just give you a little bit about my background. Again, my name is Andre English. I am now currently 45 years of age, 45 years old. I was born in Los Angeles, California. Grew up in a typical sort of lower middle class family. My mom was an entrepreneur. My dad, I never knew my biological father, but the man who raised me was actually an OBGYN, actually delivered me. And so pretty much had a good childhood, you know, one of those childhoods where, you know, pretty much the things that were important to me, I was able to do. I was able to go to camp and, you know, all that kind of stuff and have some different experiences that maybe some of my friends didn't necessarily have. But then all of that sort of got shook up. It all got shook up when I was in 7th grade and we found out my dad was terminal with cancer and that he only had 3 months to live. Fortunately, we were able to get about 2 years with him before he passed away. But from that point on, sort of the hardship set in as we went from a 2-income household to a 1-income household. And, you know, my mom was like, hey, listen, you know, the way to go forward, and I'm sure some of you guys have heard this from your parents, right? The way to go forward is you got to go to school and you got to get education. You got to get a good education, you know, and in her mind, literally, she became an entrepreneur because she had no choice because she never really went to college, right? And so she was like, you got to go get a good education so you can get a good job, so you can have a future. But for us, we're not going to be able to pay for it. So you better start making those jump shots, right? And so Fortunately for me, I was athletically gifted at the high school level, and that allowed me the opportunity to earn a full ride basketball scholarship from Los Angeles to New York City. I went out to New York City, Long Island area, and hurt myself at the end of my first year, going into my second year. And that's when I realized basketball was a business, and they took my scholarship away. So for those of you who don't know that, your scholarships for these athletes, these college athletes, are renewed year to year. They are not a 4-year scholarship. They are not guaranteed. Just like your 401k, your pension. If you go into your HR department and ask them, you know, is your retirement that you're putting into every month, is that guaranteed? They will tell you no. And so the same thing applied for my college education. So once that was taken away from me, I had to pay for it just like everybody else. I went and got student loans, got myself in debt for the education process. But the good thing that happened to me in college was that I was able to see that the background that I had, where my mom was an entrepreneur, was something that was totally different from a lot of people. And I was always just baffled, really, because there were so many people that were so much smarter than me. They were smarter than me in technology, and they were accounting and just all these different things. And I was just always baffled, you know, that their job at the time, and I know I'm dating myself a little bit, was like they wanted to get a job at Microsoft, or they wanted to get a job at Google, or they wanted to get a job at these different places. And you know, that's all great, but I could never understood how come none of them wanted to become the next Microsoft, become the next Google, become the next big company. And so when I was in college, I started my first business. I started a nonprofit corporation. We worked towards issues that were affecting the students on campus, looked to make some change. When I left school, I left that company and that organization to the students on campus. And that sort of started my entrepreneurial journey. That is the time when I realized and I learned that I could go out into the marketplace and I could earn $1, and I did not have to depend on someone else to pay me for me to make a living. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So needless to say, fast forward many years, I started several businesses, been lecturing at colleges and universities, speaking on economic empowerment. I understood one of the 2 pillars that our society is based on economically. I understood entrepreneurship, but I did not understand or have any understanding of the free market system in terms of stocks, the markets, stuff like that. I had really no understanding of that. It all looked like EKG machines. It all looked like Greek. You know, I could build a business, but I didn't know what was going on in that place. And what happened to me was I was making good money. I was going along. I was married at the time, you know, had a son who was about 19 going on 20. We found out we were going to have a little baby girl who was a blessing of my life. And all of a sudden, boom, I started getting really sick. I got sick out of nowhere. I was having all kinds of health challenges. I was having rashes, it's all kinds of stuff was going on. Essentially, they thought I had ALS at first. And that was a scary conversation. But I had some autoimmune disorders. But what happened was that started me in the process of what I'm going to get to talking to you about today, because I began to look around, folks. I made good money. I could make, you know, I wasn't Tony Robbins speaker, but, you know, I could make $5,000 an hour to give a lecture, or to give a talk or something like that. And so I was making good money doing that. But I realized that what I was doing couldn't be replicated, right? In other words, I was self-employed. I was the one who called the places that I lectured at. I was the one who did the accounts receivable and got the checks. I was the one who did whatever marketing. I was the one who did the speaking engagement. I was the one. And so I didn't actually have a business. I basically had a job that I owned. But on top of that, I couldn't replicate it. Like my son, he's talented, but his talents lie in other areas. My wife at the time, she could sing really, really well. Amazing singer, was signed to a label when she was younger, but she didn't have the talent to get up there and give lectures about economic empowerment. And so what happened was I realized real quick is that if my income dried up, that it was going to dramatically impact the family. And I remembered what happened to us, me as a kid, when my dad passed away. And so I started looking, folks, real hard. It woke me up and got me real serious about looking for opportunities. Give me 1 second, folks, because that's going to go off over and over and over. That's a signal to the market. It's trying to tell me to get some money. And so I was just like, okay, I got to do something. And so I began to look around, and I knew from my background that I needed something that was going to give me two things. Number one, I wanted to have some kind of residuals that could be passed on to my children, something that was going to be a willable asset, an income producing asset that would be willable, that I could pass to my children, that I could pass to my wife at the time. And the other thing was, I also wanted to be able to pass them knowledge. Okay, I felt like where I was financially, I wasn't where I wanted to be, even though I could make good money, right? I wasn't where I wanted to be financially. I knew I didn't have enough knowledge in that space. And I was willing to have enough self-awareness to say that eventually that where I was the product of my decisions. It wasn't anybody else that made these decisions. And so I knew that something had to change. Like if I didn't change something, I was going to leave my family in a terrible situation if something happened to me with this health challenge. And I just had to do something about it. So I started looking around, taking the knowledge that I had. And luckily, I was able to stumble across what I'm going to share with you today. And thank God I did. Thank God I did, because my life is totally different. Luckily, health-wise, I'm on the mend. But the mentorship, the guidance, the knowledge, the community, everything that I found in this particular place has revolutionized my life and catapulted forward in a beneficial way, in a way that I couldn't have possibly known when I got started. And so I'm super excited to share it with you. And so what I want to talk to you about tonight is something called the I Am Mastery Academy. Very simply put, we are an academy that is going to teach you about financial literacy. We're going to teach you specifically how to involve yourself in the foreign exchange market or the cryptocurrency market. And we're going to teach you how to do something very, very important, which is simply this. We're going to teach you how to potentially take $1 and turn it into $5, $1 and turn it into $5, and be able to do that process over and over and over again. Now, let me just go ahead and say this, folks, because this is important. We are all grown folks here on this call. And so I want you to understand that trading has risk associated with it. And we are talking about an education on trading, and that past results don't guarantee future success. But what we're going to share with you is an educational model, an educational platform that over 200,000 students around the world are taking advantage of right now as we speak. And so we're excited about that. We're excited about that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to share my screen just so you can get a little bit of information. It's since we're not really talking to each other face to face and we are in a live, I feel like we can go ahead and just get a little bit of information from that. That will be helpful for you. Let me go ahead and share my screen and pull this up. All right. So again, folks, what we're talking about is the I Am Mastery Academy, and I love it. I love this academy. I love what it stands for. I love the vision of being able to help 1 million families around the world gain financial literacy so that they could turn their smartphone technology into opportunity. And that's really what we're talking about, right? Is that right now, I know it seems like the internet has been around for a long time. I know it seems like smartphones have been around for a long time. I know it seems like having Wi-Fi everywhere has been around for a long time. But in truth, we're at the infancy of it, right? We're at the very beginning of this process. And so this is the best time to be alive in terms of technology, in terms of opportunity, in terms of a level playing field. And so you should be excited about the idea if you can educate yourself on something, and then you can combine that education and you can use the advantages that are provided to you from smartphone technology, that are provided from you, where the fact that you can be anywhere in the world, as long as you have a smartphone and an internet connection, you can use that to be able to create income for you and your family. That means that there's massive opportunity available to you, right? And so what will you become is the question. What is it that you want to do? What are the things that you've put on the back burner? See, we've all done that. Once we start our working life, oftentimes we put stuff on the back burner. We put it on the shelf and say, hey, listen, I gotta go, I can't do that anymore. I can't pursue that anymore because I gotta focus on these bills, these responsibilities. All of a sudden we start living life instead of living life the way we want to. We just live life for the job and whatever it is. And it's just not exciting anymore. And so this question right here, what will you become, is so important to me, because through this process of this academy, I'm becoming a better person literally every single day. I'm able to design and shape the life of I want like every single day. I'm able to create my own future like every single day. And so that's an important question. All you have to do is decide what it is that you really want. And this academy can potentially be a catalyst, be a vehicle. This community that we're a part of can be a catalyst, can be a vehicle to help you get to where you want to go. So with that being said, again, we are talking about the foreign exchange market through the academy. It is a market that's open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. It opens at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday and closes 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays. It is roughly a $7 trillion per day market. So it is the largest financial market in the world by far. It's not even close. It's primarily liquid, and it is an incredible opportunity. Can you imagine $7 trillion a day being traded in that market? All you need is just a sliver. When we talk about what will you become, all you need is just a sliver of that, just a little piece of that, and you can begin to change things in your life. You can begin to all of a sudden take those vacations more often. You can all of a sudden, redo the kitchen and renovate, or whatever it is that you want to do. You'll be able to do those types of things. Maybe you want to start an organization and impact people. Just a sliver of that $7 trillion can give you so much hope, right? And so our academy has 3 different kind of breakdowns to it. We have 3 separate academies within one, if you will. One is the Foreign Exchange Academy, or what we call the FRX Academy. That's simply just going to talk to you about regular foreign exchange, how it's traditionally done through trading, like gold, British pound versus the Japanese yen. If this all sounds complicated to you, it's not very difficult. If you have ever gone and you've gone from the United States to Canada and you went to a little money currency exchange and traded the dollar for the Canadian dollar, that is foreign exchange. You've ever flown to Paris and you traded your dollar for the euro, gone to Mexico, traded your dollar for the peso, etc. That is the foreign exchange market, except you don't have to physically own all the dollars to be able to trade in that market. And that's what makes it exciting, because you don't have to own the asset in order to profit from the trade. There's a nugget right there. Some of y'all missed that, but I hope y'all take that home with you. You don't have to physically own the assets in order to profit from trading, okay? Which means there's no barrier to entry for you, okay? So we also have a digital currency academy. That academy is essentially cryptocurrency. So things like Bitcoin and Ripple and all the different coins that are out there that are being traded. A lot of people in the academy are super excited because they've been investing in cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin made a huge move this past week, all right? We also have what's called a high frequency mastery academy. Now that high frequency academy is something very exciting. It's called the HFX Academy, and that's what we call binary options. Man, it is a very, very exciting way in which to trade in the foreign exchange market. It's very user friendly, and it's very much something that's a great starting place for most students to be able to start at. The other secret sauce about our academy is that we have live educators, okay? This is what separates us. This is what makes it unique. Some people have looked up Forex on YouTube, or I don't know, Kaleidoscope, Telescope, whatever, Periscope, different places where they're looking up different things in terms of trying to learn how to trade. But you ever notice, like, you go watch a YouTube video and you watch the video, if you have a question about what they said, they might have recorded that video 2 years ago. So try leaving a comment and try getting hit back from the person who recorded that 2 years ago, and see how that works out for you. It doesn't really work very well. And so the way I've always looked at something is, if I want to learn something, I want to go to people who are actually in the habit of doing it, who are having success doing the particular skill set that I'm trying to learn. So what we have done here in the academy is we've got over 100 different educators. Now these educators are unique because they're already people who have proven success in the market. What do I mean by proven? I mean, they've gone out and gotten 6, 7, and sometimes even 8-figure trading accounts, or made that kind of money in the market already. And what they do is they then also have proven that they have the skill to be able to teach other people how to trade. right? So it's one thing, like you ever met like a really good athlete or heard of a really good athlete, but then they stunk as a coach, but they were great players? Well, the same thing happens in every different discipline in life, right? And so not everybody who's a great player can also be a great coach. What we have is great players and great coaches simultaneously. And what we have is a legacy of people who are being able to win in the markets based off of these educators. It's absolutely phenomenal. So what happens with this Go Live situation is you can see it's almost like a little TV guide on the screen. And what happens is they have different classes, different times going on all the time. And so basically what will happen is you will click on an educator, someone who probably helped got you started, who sent you to this information, this webinar, or if you're watching this later on replay, who sent this to you. They'll be able to kind of help steer you to some educators that are not only popular, but that might make sense to what your personal scenario is. And so they'll be able to help you do that. And what happens is you plug into the educator, and they literally, you get to go on a session, and that educator is in a live market. So in the academy section of things, right, where you went into the HFX Academy, that academy is going to have, 90 plus videos that you're going to be able to watch, and you're going to be able to self-paced study. And what I mean by videos, folks, don't get nervous and don't get panicked. Don't say to yourself, how am I going to take this in, and how can I add this to my life? I don't have time to go back and get a degree. What I mean by videos is 4 to 6 minutes, 4 to 8 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes long, very short videos that they have found a way to be able to break down a complex subject and make it what I would call almost cartoon simple, right? Where you can digest it in a 6-7 minute process and then go on about your day. So you could literally wake up and watch 2 videos in the morning. You could watch 2 videos on your lunch break at work. You could, instead of going on Facebook when you sneak to the bathroom at work, you know what I'm talking about, right? When y'all sneak to the bathroom and you're actually there for 30 minutes, but you're only supposed to be gone for like 5. And instead of being on Facebook and Instagram, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So you can go on there and you can actually pop in and get a video and educate yourself. You can carve out an hour on the weekend, whatever it is. That's going to give you sort of the brick and mortar of your education, so to speak. That's you doing that. But now you're going to be able to take that knowledge and come into a live market with the professional traders, with the professional educators, and you're going to be able to watch them trade that market live. And so now the knowledge that you got from the videos is just going to come to life, because you're going to see the chart moving right in front of you. You're going to have them explaining what's going on right in front of you. You're going to be able to ask questions and they're going to respond to you. Why are you using that indicator? How come you say that the market's going to go up, but I don't see how what's going to happen? And they're going to be able to answer some of those questions. And then occasionally they will also find trades that they themselves are going to take. This is really cool, right? So they themselves are going to enter into a trade. They're going to take that trade, but instead of just taking and keeping it selfishly for themselves, they'll also say, hey, listen, guys, we're going to go into a buy on Euro JPY right now. Here's where I see my entry point. Here's where I see my take profit. And here's where I see my stop loss. And you literally have the choice whether or not you want to take and enter the same trade as a 6 or 7 figure trader, as they are demonstrating why they're entering the trade right in front of you, right? And so it becomes a very potent conversation and combination, if you will, of how to learn and succeed in the market. It's so exciting and so different than anything that you've ever really been a part of, all right? On top of that, we have some of our educators that have proven to be so successful to be able to go into the market and get such high quality results on their trade ideas and the strategies that they use, that our company said, hey, listen, Dr. Kathy Kirkland, I know that you're an 8-figure trader. You've been able to help teach a whole bunch of other people to become 7-figure traders, 6-figure traders. You are awesome in the strategy that you're using. Why don't we code that and call it something? And then all of a sudden you have ECC 11. And then all of a sudden you're Matty Pips, and you can say, hey, in the last 18 months, I took an account from $100 to $1.3 million. And all of a sudden the educators say, the company says, hey, listen, what strategy are you using? And Matty says, well, I've been doing this, and this is my win percentage. And they say, well, let's code that. And so what happens is now, for the regular average person like you and me, who doesn't necessarily have time to stay looking at a chart all day long, all of a sudden we can find an educator and a strategy that resonates with us, that makes sense with us. And all of a sudden we can actually have this app, if you will, this fintech, if you will, financial technology, scan the market for us. And when that market meets the criteria of the strategy that we know, that we've been learning, it'll identify it to us and send us an alert and say, hey, listen, Andre, I know you're playing with that cute 5-year-old girl of yours. I know you guys are over there building blocks and having fun, but hey, listen, there's an opportunity where you can make some money so that you can continue to be free, right? It's gonna send me an alert to my phone, and I can say, okay, hold on one second, babe. And I can look on my phone and I can say, oh my God, this is a great trade. Let me enter it, and I can make some money while I'm having fun with my daughter. Folks, that's a game changer, isn't it? I mean, that's amazing to be able to have that kind of opportunity through the technology. So through our educational process, we like to say that you can learn and earn on the go, right? You have the chance to learn, and while you're learning, you have the chance to earn because of these apps and some of these trade ideas that are offered to us through these strategies that are highly successful. So, and folks, I don't want you to think that this is too complex. I'm actually not going to go into the academy tonight and show it to you, but we literally have, through the HFX Academy, we literally have a platform called Hourglass. And in Hourglass, there's one strategy called Cash Trap. And folks, when I say that this is darn near cartoons, so look, it's literally, if you go into Cash Trap, and there's a trade offered to you, there's a trade idea that's potentially available for you to take, it literally tells you with an up arrow or a down arrow. So if you're on that currency pair, Euro USD, and you see an up arrow, that means you, on your trading platform, you click the buy button. And if there's a down arrow, you click the sell button. I mean, like I mean, you can't get more simple than that, right? Like up, buy, down, click, right? You see what I'm saying? Sell. So simple. So that's literally what we're talking about, folks. Is we're talking up arrows, down arrows. They've really made it as simple as possible to help people begin to win. And of course, you're going to want to get in there and learn the strategy behind these different things so that you have autonomy as you go on. But you're going to take those trades initially in your demo account, which is like Monopoly money, and you're going to allow the educators to be able to help you make money. The other thing is our team, as well as the academy, is they're so really good at really honing in on not only risk management, but also protecting you from yourself, right? Our team in general trades 2 or 3 days a week. When we get into the market, we make the money that we need to out of the market, and we get out of the market. And so we don't want to be over trading. We don't want to be there. We want you to be able to still live life. We want you to have time to educate yourself. We want you to have time for the second half of what we're doing with this platform, you know. And so that's why it's such a win-win, folks. That's why it's such a win-win. All right. So we have those ideas there. So the biggest question that we always get, and this was the question that got me most fired up, if I'm being 100% honest with you, is how much does it cost, Andre? It sounds like a great platform. You got all these different things. You got strategies. You got go lives. You got Bob Proctor, who comes on and teaches the mindset of how to trade. You know, you've got all these different things, right? Well, simply put, folks, it's $235 one time for one of those first 3 academies, the FRX, the HFX, or the DCX. It's $235 one time, and it's $175 a month. Now, someone who lectures at colleges, I was like, this is unbelievable, because this is more robust than what you would get in most college degrees, right? In terms of the amount of information, the practical knowledge, the hands-on, the hand-holding and guiding you through. This is like a really in-depth course, and it's less than 1 credit hour at a community college. Folks, the average community college right now costs $7,000 semester. So, or a year, excuse me. So you're talking about $175 a month, and it's pay as you go. Like, it's literally pay as you go. So it's literally month to month, what that means. And so I was just fired up about this, because anytime I I can give education, or I can help people get opportunity, and they can get it on sale, they can get it at discount, but it provides way more value, man, that is something that you want to share. That is something that you're excited to talk to people about. And so I was super proud of our academy. I'm super proud of our founders for them pricing this thing as something that's affordable to everybody. When I mean everybody, folks, I mean, we're not just in the United States with this thing. We're not just in Canada or really the big technologically advanced societies all across the world, right? We are literally not just, you know, Wall Street to Main Street, but there's places in the world where we're at no street, and there's still people who are signed up at this academy and able to do it. And that's because of the affordability, and also because of the technology that we have that helps people make money in the markets. So folks, this is super, super exciting, super user-friendly, and super available to be able to make sort of what wasn't available to us available to anybody in the world. All right. The other thing we have right now going on, which is special, is we actually have the 3 academies combined in one, what we call the Elite Academy. And that's just if you want to be a student and you want to be able to learn all the things simultaneously, like me, right? I'm an elite customer. And essentially what happens is it also rolls in some of those additional products, that fintech products and stuff like that, all of that stuff in. And basically you can get started for $324 versus $900. That's what they got going on right now. So they, instead of $900 and something to get started, to get everything, right? All the stuff that we talked about, it's $324 and $275 a month. Absolutely amazing, all right? The other great thing about our academy is we basically have a vision. I told you before, our vision, and I unite with it. I'm unified with our vision of helping get 1 million families around the world by the end of 2020 to become financially literate, and help them through that process, give them opportunity, give them hope, and allow them to be able to take their smartphone and whatever currency or income that they have and be able to multiply that income in the market. That's something that I can unite with. And so if you unite with that vision and you realize that we're in a time where hope is needed, and we're in a time where education is needed, we're in a time where understanding that money and where it's going is absolutely needed. We're in a time right now where we're in the greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime. If you decide that you want to be able to, say, help another person out, you want to get some study buddies, you got some family members, we all have something like that, right? Like I was able to pick up and I was able to call my buddy Matt, like as soon as I saw this, right? And be able to tell Matt all about it. Matt said, hey, listen, I'd love to get some information, right? Matt was able to call his buddy Jizz Clerk, be able to be like, hey, let's get some information. I was able to reach out to another friend or two, my boy Hank, and all of a sudden I was able to get my fees waived through this 2 and free relatively quickly. And I got excited about that, because as long as you have 2 active paying customers, the company says thank you. It's sort of like a scholarship program, if you will. And basically what it means is that your fees are no longer applied, and you have a free access to your education. Okay, folks, that is sort of the first part of our academy, which is basically the educational component of it. If you want to come in and you just want to learn Forex, and that's something that's exciting to you, you want to learn how to trade, then you would want to get back with the person who got you this information, ask them to send you the link, get started. We'll get you going as a customer. We can get you trading literally live in the markets, either in your demo account this week, before the week is over. And so that's really, really exciting. But for me, remember, I told you, as someone who actually would lecture at colleges and universities about economic empowerment, that I understood that there was 2 pillars to our society. There was 2 pillars to really creating wealth. And so what I got excited about most was actually this part that I'm going to share with you right now. You know, if we're walking down the street and we see 2 $20 bills on the ground, none of us are just going to pick up one and leave the other one sitting there, right? And so I got excited about the idea of picking up the other 20, because I know that that second 20 has the power to be even more powerful than the first 20 I picked up. And I'll tell you why in a second. So for those of you who decide that, hey, listen, I like this opportunity, but could I share it with more than 2 people? Is it possible to share it? Could I create some kind of opportunity out of this? Remember, we mentioned the idea that education plus technology equals opportunity, right? So not only do you have opportunity to earn through the skill set that you're learning, but you also here have the double whammy of having the opportunity to be able to build a business. Oh my God. I honestly get excited just to become an entrepreneur, to build a business is so powerful, folks. It's so powerful. And so I get excited about this. I kind of geek out about it. I can't help it. So we also have the opportunity for you to become an independent business owner. And we also have an academy that'll help you through that process. But basically what independent business owner simply means, folks, is that, look, you referred 2 customers. When you refer your 3rd customer, you have the opportunity to upgrade to what's called an IBO, okay? And once you become an IBO, you now have the opportunity, you are now in an arrangement with the company where they can compensate you for referring or driving business to them. They can compensate you for bringing in students, essentially. And so what happens here is, if you can imagine sort of a tutor time, or you can imagine a Kaplan Learning Center, or you can Mathnasium, or some of these little educational places that you find in sort of strip malls all across America, after school programs where they're helping either SAT prep, helping kids with their math skills, helping kids, right? Those are what's called educational franchises. And without technically being a franchise, I don't want to say anything that would be out of compliance with our department. I'm just giving you a model that you can understand, that you can relate to. It's a kind of a franchise model. So what happens is, when you refer that 3rd person, you decide to become an IBO, you now become a business. You now have a business of your own, and you get all of the advantages that come with it. You also get all the work that comes with it, which is also rewarding, all right? So what happens is, folks, is when you refer someone to one of those first 3 academies, the FRX, the DCX, or the HFX, you're gonna get $25 from the company as a referral fee to refer those people into the academy, to refer those students into the academy. If you refer an elite customer, you're gonna get $50. And that part is exciting, folks. That money is money that can be used to trade. That money is, you refer 3 customers, 4 customers, that's a little extra income for your household. It's actually an exciting little process that they do, but it's not what got me most excited. What got me most excited was the opportunity to earn residual income, okay? And so what happens here is, when you have referred 3 people, you're what we call a Platinum 150. You're going to get $150 a month, or $37.50 per week, that the academy is going to pay you. The I Am Mastery Academy will pay you. And then what happens as you go out and you accumulate some more customers, right? As you go out, just like, by the way, just like every single business on earth, you're not in business. Even, by the way, even nonprofits are not in business if they don't have customers, okay? So just like every other business in the world, just like Mathnasium, just like Tutor Time, you're going to go out and you're going to attract customers into your academy, people that see value in the learning experience, that want to educate themselves about money, especially right now, right? And I know, especially right now, I'm saying that because of the amount of growth that's happening right now in our company. And when you grow your customer base to 12, you've got 12 customers now. At this point, you're going to be what's called a Platinum 600. You're going to get $600 per month, or $150 per week. This right here is an amazing place to be, folks, because what happens here, right, is that now you've made enough money to stop most bankruptcies in America. The average bankruptcy in America could be stopped with an extra $600 a month. You've made enough money to stop the average divorce from happening that happens from financial reasons, right? This stuff is really, really powerful. $600 a month. You could take that money, you could also throw it back into the market. So this is really, really a powerful place to be. $600 a month. Basically what that's doing is that's financing your trading account. That's financing your ability to multiply your money with the skill set that you're learning through the academy. How cool is that? That not only do you get the skill to learn, but they're going to give you the money to be able to put into the market, if you so desire, to be able to multiply it. So that's like a win-win-win. Like, this is really getting good. And so what happens then is, as you grow to 30 customers, and by the way, by the time you go into 30 customers, you're probably not doing most of that by yourself. There's probably a few customers who, like you, also see the benefit of picking up the other $20 bill, right? And they basically say, hey, listen, I'd like to become an independent business owner too. I'd like to build something too. Matter of fact, on our team, our culture is we have a lot of people who also like to build, who are excited about building because they understand the benefit of the residual income. See, a residual dollar is stronger than an earned dollar every single time, right? And so anyway, folks, I've been going on long, so I want to shorten it up here. But what I'm talking about here is, now you have the chance to earn $1,000 of income per month, $250 per week as a Platinum 1000 with just 30 customers, okay? And for those of you who have great ambition, our compensation plan will continue to grow. It goes all the way up to Chairman, not only 500 now, but actually something called Chairman 750. Chairman 750, where it is $750,000 a month of residual income coming into your family. And folks, what's exciting about that is that we don't have just people who've been doing this for 50 years and 40 years who've been able to accumulate this. Our company is only 7 years old, and we have people who have joined this company in the last 3 years who have been able to hit that Chairman 750 mark. And here's the deal, they're only 24 and under. We have so many people. So if you're an older gentleman like me and you got a 24, 25-year-old son and you're always saying, hey, listen, this generation, that generation, you're doing that kind of conversation. Let me tell you, this generation here of young people, they are absolutely crushing it. Absolutely crushing this at a place where they are disrupting the entire industry, and they are showing us a pathway to help so many families and so many people. I'm so thankful and happy and grateful for the leadership that we have within this organization and within this company in general. And so we also, have, and we're very fortunate to work very closely with someone, Randy and Wanda Webb. They're at that Chairman 25 rank. That means they're making $25,000 a month of residual income. I can tell you what, folks, they will not be there very long. They're on their way rapidly. They're probably going to blow right through Chairman 50, straight to Chairman 100. We're on our team. We are on pace to break 10 Chairman 10s this year. So that is exciting, folks. And the reason why I bring that stuff up is because whenever you're involved in any kind of conversation, any kind of movement, any kind of thing that you're going to put your time to, you want to know that there's other people vested in it. You want to know that other people are excited. You want to know that other people are moving. You want to know that there's activity, that there's growth, that there's excitement, that there's energy, so that when you come around, that it can energize you, right? And that's what you're going to get with our environment. That's what you're going to get with our particular team. That's what you're going to get with our particular wealth conversation. Folks, I am so excited about what I talked to you about tonight. All right, the opportunity for residual income is real. Here's our income disclosure statement. What it just simply says is that if you're at Chairman 25, you make $25,000 a month, right? If you hit the ranks, that's what you make. All right, and so I'm excited about that as well. You can get that information as well from our website. And then listen, if you're excited about this, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this. If you're excited about what you've seen tonight, if what you've seen makes sense, and you want to participate either as a customer or as a customer and as an IBO, what you want to do is just simply get back to the person who got you on this video, got you on either the Zoom presentation, sent you the link, started a watch party, whatever it is, whoever invited you personally, okay? You want to be able to get back with them and say, hey, listen, send me your link. Let me get started. There's no time to waste. This is the second half of 2020. You know what's so crazy? What's so crazy is most people are talking about 2020 like it's the worst year. And there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, starting from COVID to COVID to, it just kept going on and on and on, right? But let me just tell you something. This has been the best year of my life. The second half of 2020 is going to be the most fruitful part of my life. I'm just telling you, it's all a mindset. It's all a community. It's all the people that you're working with, the people that you're around. So if right now that you've been suffering negativity, if right now there's been a lot of stuff, maybe you've been impacted, by stuff, unemployment. I have empathy. I understand. But isn't it about time that you got an environment where people are winning? You got an environment where people are excited. You got an environment where you can learn a new skill that will pay you as long as you want to use it for the rest of your life. It's a skill set that you're going to use every day for the rest of your life. Isn't it about time that you got on the right side of money? Isn't it about time that you stopped being sick and tired? Isn't it about time that you made a decision that you were actually going to follow through with something and change your life? This is the time right now, folks. Most of us are at home. Most of us have had our whole lives disrupted. Most of us now have time. Most of us now have a real need and reason to get started to do something. So if that's you, listen, welcome to the family, right? We are a family, right? And what it is we are a great community that you're going to find incredible support. Welcome to the family. Get back with that person. They will send you a link. They will help you get started. And I'm telling you, we can have you trading in your demo account this week before the market closes on Friday. That fast, okay? And second, if you're the type of person who says, listen, I want to get started, but I have one or two questions, get back with the person who invited you. Because guess what? They'll help you answer those questions. They'll point you in the right direction. If they don't have the answer themselves, they'll find someone who does, so that you can make an informed decision for your family. Because all of us know how important this particular money conversation and this particular decision is. If you're someone who doesn't have any interest in anything that I said, thank you for sticking around for an hour or 45 minutes or so. All right, I appreciate your time. But what that probably means is that either maybe lack of time or lack of money is preventing you from getting started now. That's okay. Get back with the person. Just let them know, hey, say I'm not interested, or I have some challenges right now that I got to take care of. That's going to be okay, right? But what we don't want to do is leave that lingering space, right? Where you're wondering, is this person going to call me and ask me? Because they are. They're going to call you and ask you. They're going to call you right now afterwards and say, hey, listen, did this make sense to you? And just go ahead and make a grown-up decision and let them know, okay? So listen, I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. That's my time, folks. I appreciate you guys allowing me to have the opportunity to share with you, even though I'm streaming on my Facebook Live. But listen, I can tell you right now, and I'll leave you with this. There is no time to waste. If you know what's going on with the economy, once you start to study money, once you start to study currency, once you start to study the Fed, once you start to understand what's happening, once you start to understand what the coin shortage means, once you understand what digital currency is and how they're moving in that direction, once you understand the wealth transfer, when you understand the real estate bubble that's coming, the moment all of these incentives that are preventing foreclosures from happening are gone, all of these homes are going to start to foreclose. If you start to understand what's happening with the real estate bubble on top of what's happened with the worldwide crisis, folks, it's time for you to educate yourself. It's time for you to learn how to hedge. It's time for you to learn so that you can stop being on the wrong side of all these events of history, and you can begin to be on the right side of it and change your family's course forever, okay? That's what I want for you. That's what I hope for you, okay? So I'm done tonight. Thank you for your time, and you guys have a great evening.